I'm great. How are you?
I'm awesome.
Apologies for the slight
Oh,
delay.
no
Literally just got home
problem
from
at
work.
all.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. No complaints at all.
Awesome. Are you ready to get started with the
Yeah,
interview?
I'm about ready.
Awesome. All right. So, first, I was hoping to introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about your journey into music, like how you got started, all of that.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So my name is Adia. I am 26. I've been doing music for about 8 to 9 years, and I got my start in undergrad at NIU. And that was mostly out of just a need for a release, I would say. um Natural passion, loving music, and yeah, needing the outlet. So pretty simple, easygoing start.
Great. Was there any thing specific or like any person that inspired you, or did you kind of just get into it naturally?
Yeah, for sure. I would say growing up, I was definitely influenced by most of the well-known neo soul singers. I also say that my brother influenced me pretty heavily, and I kind of grew up an only child, so I think that I was very influenced by just the entertainment world in general.
Who
So yeah.
were some of your main musical influences growing up?
Main musical influences again would definitely be the neon soul movement. So Erica Badu, Jill Scott, India Arie, Vivian Green, all those singers.
And how would you describe your personal music style today?
I would describe my style as neon soul is what I've been going for, which is pretty much an alternative upbeat approach to neo soul. So I like to think about artists like Sid the Kid or the Internet, the way that they craft some of their music, or even K Tronada, like when you hear those soulful vibes, undertones that we know, but it's more like upbeat, more vibrant. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. And I know your debut album, When Life Happens, came out this past August. Can you tell me a little about that album and what it means to you and what inspired you to make it and order and stuff?
Yeah, sure. So the intro is called When Life Happens, and my mom is on that intro. She's actually in the chat.
Mm.
So, hey guys, I want to interact with the people here. Hey Trayvon. Oh my gosh, Zadia, she's my favorite singer. I'm such a fan. You are hilarious. And I owe you a phone call, so I will be calling you very soon. So yeah, the name of the album is called Every So Often.
Oh, I love your
And
shirt. That's so cute.
thank you. And the first track is actually called When Life Happens. But what pretty much influenced this album and got me going on this was just my journey as an early adult figuring out life. COVID happened, obviously. I started my real adulting in COVID. And so I remember graduating in 2020 and turning 22 and being like, okay, this is when life happens, right? But like, what am I stepping into? And so that's pretty much the backbone of this album. It's very transformative, it's very introspective. It has the themes of love, grief, friendship, nostalgia, kind of all the things, because that's what I went through here. And it's featured by a lot of amazing artists that pretty much made my journey here in Chicago worthwhile. I felt like I pretty much wouldn't have made it if it weren't for them. And so it was only right for this my debut album to be collaborative, because I feel like my peers are the reason that I'm still here. So yeah.
How do you feel about collaboration in general? Is it when you're making something collaborative, does that differ from
So I'm
doing
not
something by
gonna lie,
yourself?
the
Or
AirPods are kind of muffling your
okay, I'm
volume a
so
bit.
sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I am struggling though, just a little
Is that better?
bit. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm so sorry about that.
No, it's no worries at all. I didn't want to mess up your flow, but I was like, oh, okay, I can't
I
really hear
think
you.
it's the earrings. I think they hit the sides of
Yeah,
it.
probably.
That's what happens.
Probably.
Okay, I'm glad I know.
Okay.
This is better.
Collaboration, right? Was your
Yes.
question? Okay, sure. So when it comes to collaboration, very open to it. I love collaboration. I feel like it's a very big part of artistry. Um, I think that it definitely has to be, you got to match wavelengths, right? Like you don't just collaborating with anyone. It kind of is like those like-minded people, people that you really like to share space with. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a friend, but you all kind of have to have those like common morals, I would say, or at least common taste, things like that, and able to come together. But I love collaborating.
Who are some of the most what are some of the most meaningful collaborations that you've had either on that album or just otherwise?
I would say my collaboration with Armani Day is probably one of the most meaningful on the album because she's my cousin and she was also sick during majority of these past 5 years. And so it was amazing to be able to enter the creative space with her again. It was amazing for her to join the No Regrets remix and just kind of like being able to talk her stuff as, you know, a 20 something out here. So I would say that one meant a lot. I would also say that my track with the kids, Circle Time, is something that I hold very near to me as well because it's really symbolic of my worlds colliding and allowing me to see that I don't just have to be this one person. I can be multidimensional. My worlds can collide. I can embrace love on all aspects, you know, from all aspects. So those would be two of my most cherished
Mhm.
collabs.
And do you have like a favorite track on the When Life Happens album? Or like
So it's called Every So Often.
or
But I will say, um, let's see, favorite track. Oof. That's so hard. They're all my favorites. I think that I'll go with WTF Today because it's just super fun. And I think that we have more work to do with that. There's not a visual out to that yet. So I really look forward to that. And it's just so much fun to perform. It has like this call and response. We do the like hotel, motel, Holiday Inn sample.
Mhm.
And so we sing it and the crowd is singing it. And then that's just a lot of fun. So shout out Teddy Truman. That's definitely my favorite today.
And I know that you've released a couple of music videos. What are like how do you kind of come up with that like creative vision and does that like impact I guess your creative process when you're creating the song in the first place?
I would say that it doesn't necessarily impact my vision with the song because that's just not how I create. But I will say that I think I tend to lead with the tracks that I feel are most special to me, which is why I have a Circle Time video. I think that I tend to lean in on those tracks and then kind of crank out the visuals from there, if that makes sense. I hope that answers your question.
No, that's perfect.
Mhm.
And how would you like describe your songwriting process? Do you like draw from, I guess, like life experiences, or do you kind of like freestyle, or do you just like
Yeah,
work
so
there?
as far as my creative process, the notes in my phone is a mess. I'm always observing people. I really like spending time outside because outside inspires me. I love interacting with people. I will write a song or jot down some notes about a man with some baggy pants walking down the street and how he's walking. Like I just kind of like to always crank out like little poems and things like that. When it comes to actually crafting a song, it kind of just depends on the producer that I'm with, what kind of beats are being played. Sometimes I'll draw up something completely original. Other times I'm like, ooh, this makes me feel like this. And I'll go to the notes in my phone and go to like the theme of love, the theme of whatever, and kind of pick from there and then kind of create a song. So it just depends.
And would you say that process has kind of like evolved throughout your time as an artist, or have you stayed pretty consistent with it?
It's evolving now. I think that because the album was so introspective and so therapeutic in a way. Most of those feelings were very personal. And I think that it's kind of evolved now to just being able to like crank out on the spot. Not as much in the notes, not as much pulling from. Of course, it's still about how the track feels or what type of mood it carries. Um, it feels less about what I want though, and more about what will be received the best.
Okay, so it comes more naturally now.
Hmm. I
And
think that it was natural the whole time, but I think that the intention is just different. I think that the execution is just different. I think it's always been natural, but it's kind of just about, it's almost like business over personal. And with music it's hard because the creative process is
Mhm.
personal, but it's almost like a switch where you're just like, nope, we're not going down that nostalgic route today. We are making a song right here that's just gonna feel good. It's
Mhm.
almost just about being able to like switch into a different
Mhm.
mode, if that makes sense. Hmm.
How do you, I guess, sort of balance that, like business side of music? Because it is such like a personal thing, but like obviously there is such a big emphasis on the business side. So how do
Hmm.
you like balance that?
I balance that by tackling it head on
Hmm.
because I do feel that the business corrupts our art,
Hmm.
but the business is necessary. So I made it a point to go to Columbia, study entrepreneurship, kind of try to understand business more because I went into undergrad as a business major, quickly switched that to communications. And so I kind of just had this shift mentally where I realized I was not embracing business like I needed to. And because I was already operating from a point of creativity from this personal perspective, it was kind of easy. It's easy now to balance it because the business is stuff that I genuinely learned. And so now it's just kind of like keeping things
Hmm.
cool, you know.
And how did your like experience like studying at Columbia, um, I guess like influence your career now? I know there's so many creative people there that go there. Did you kind of like collaborate or meet anyone along the way when you were there?
I did. I love this question. There's a young woman named TJ, and she will actually be helping to engineer my every so often live performance at Studio Shapes this Saturday. So I'm very excited for that. And I'm also like, there was another girl in my cohort, Genevieve, shout out her. She actually did like my 2024
Mhm.
headshots. So that was really cool. But yeah, it's definitely been bridging the gap for me in some ways. I think grad is definitely different from undergrad because it was
Mhm.
such a short amount of time. And, you know, it's just not the same as being on campus and doing all the things. But yeah, I've been able to do something with those connections. So that's been
That's
nice.
great. So you did your undergrad
And
at
I
IU
do.
and then grad school at Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
And have you had any like memorable performances, whether that be at like Columbia or like now, like how was your performances, I guess, evolved?
Yeah, performances have evolved a lot. A lot. And that's been really fun for me. I went from co-owning an art gallery called Blank House in Logan Square a few years ago to performing at Shuba's as of January. And so that was a very big milestone moment for me. And I'm just excited to keep evolving. But yeah, it's definitely changed. I went from like the classic bars to like bigger
Yeah,
stages. And,
that's amazing.
that's been really nice. Hmm.
That's right by where I live. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Okay, so we're
Have you,
probably neighbors.
okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay,
Hmm.
neighbor. What is your most like, do you have a most memorable performance or
You know, it would be between Shuba's and my performance at Cole's Bar in 2023.
great.
Yeah.
Have you had any like memorable fan encounters or like what's it been like sharing your work with a fan base, I guess?
Yeah, it's been really cool. I actually was performed to invited to perform at Summer Sounds in Evanston. I believe this was summer of 23 as well. 23 is when the performances really
Mhm.
started to pop for me. That was my first year of having gigs every month, and I was like, yay, consistency, you know? Um, but yeah, I would say that the most memorable experience came from my performance in Evanston with a live band, 312 band. And there was a woman in the audience that was so inspired by our performance that she actually painted me. And later, March of 2024, had the artwork up in a gallery. In March, me and my mom went, so I was able to see like a live painting of me performing live. It was just, crazy. Definitely one of those full
Yeah,
circle moments. And so that was cool.
that's so amazing.
Hmm.
Like speaking of full circle moments, what's like a milestone that you've achieved that you kind of like always dreamed of or never thought that you would?
Honestly, in the theme of every so often, I would have to say releasing my debut album.
Mhm.
Honestly, it took so much energy, so much planning, so much spending and time, and just overall creativity, that when it finally came out, it was almost like I couldn't believe it. It was almost like I didn't care what anyone
Mhm.
said. And I know that's opposite of how we're supposed to feel. You want people to love the art, you want people to tap in and vibe with it. But I was just like, dang it, y'all gonna get this art. And I was so proud of that. So I would definitely say debut album.
And did you have like any experiences like along with that where you kind of just like were able to look back and see how far you came?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that I was able to see how far that I came, even now when I listen to
Mhm.
it, because it's so nostalgic. I think that the way that I would hold on to stuff, or just the way that things really impacted me and it affected my well-being, I will never be that person again. And things still get to me, don't get me wrong, but I feel like my recovery is way quicker. I'm like, okay, honor those feelings, but let them pass. I'm not harboring, I'm not holding grudges. I'm genuinely able to release, have the storm, and just kind of keep it moving. And so that's been a beautiful lesson. And I think that releasing this album was a big part of that for me. It's kind of letting go. Like, I'm 26 now. So it's really coming into that quarter century and being like, okay, frontal lobe,
Mhm.
grown woman mind, get it together, like releasing some of the immaturity,
Mhm.
if you will. So yeah.
And do you have any like a piece of advice that you would give to like another independent artist who's like just starting off?
Sure. I think that I would tell an independent artist to, I guess, just go for it. Don't be scared. We're in the era of technology. There's so much social media. There's so many different lanes for your sound. Just go for it,
Hmm.
and don't be afraid to be yourself, like every artist says. But I feel like that is cliche, and reasonably so, because, like, be yourself. There's no need to be scared. Times are all already flipped upside down, and the world is chaotic. So bring what you bring.
And I know that you use like social media for a lot of things.
Hmm.
You have a TikTok account. How do you like incorporate your like personal style into your Instagram and to your like work?
I would say my content kind of showcases a little bit of all of that. I'm really good at being personal, but not too personal. So I do embrace my children, like on TikTok. We're really locked in. I have parents' permission, so we're posting our dance videos and stuff like that. People can get a feel of what I do for work and who I am outside of music. I'm also always sharing just like my musical journey through my stories and things like that. And then I'm a traveler as well. So I think that that's been a very big part of my brand is like Gemini girl on the go, multifaceted, living her best life, you know. And so I've kind of just been able to showcase that. And if it's, of course, it's social media, so we're always highlighting majority of the ups. But if people want to hear the downs, they can listen to the music, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I, I know you're a Gemini. When is your birthday? I'm a Gemini too, so
Okay,
every
period. I'm a May Gemini, May
okay,
21st.
I'm May 24th.
Okay, we're both cuspies.
Awesome. hmm what are some of your favorite places that you've traveled to? I saw your travel highlight on Instagram and I was just like clicking through it.
Yeah, I will say let's go with Italy. I have to keep coming back to every so
Mhm.
often because it just makes sense to. But I will say Italy. I finally went to Europe this past spring with my family, and that was a lot of fun. So definitely Italy. I'm gonna just keep on Venice because I'm a pizza girly and I really appreciated being able to eat authentic pizza
Mhm.
and drink red wine and just chill. And I enjoyed the other parts of Europe, but sometimes it really is just the little things, you know. I was so tired. We were hopping from place to place.
Yeah,
And
that
by the
is
time we were
true.
just able to chill and eat pizza and like walk around and have sun, that was very nice
hmm
for me. That was like true vacation vibe versus trip and like moving around, you know.
That's so awesome. I love Italy too. It's
Yes,
amazing.
I think I saw on your page. Did you just follow me? Because I was
I
like
did.
clicking.
Yes,
Okay,
I
I think
did.
I just saw Italy on your
Yeah.
page. Yeah,
Yeah, I
nice.
studied there for a little bit. It was
Okay,
awesome.
cool, cool.
All right. And I have a couple questions about like music videos. How do you incorporate your personal style into your music videos?
I incorporate personal style through colors, through looks, through makeup. In the Do It video, I had on these really fun, because you know we're spring babies, so that was kind of my whole thing, like coming into the new year, everything full of bloom, springing ahead, like that type of vibe. And there was this makeup look I did where I had these eyelashes with almost, they were like glittered, like feather glitter at the tips of them, and that was like really really fun. So I would just say, yeah, through colors, through fashion, through makeup, and of course through delivery. I'm able, like, it's one thing to hear the music and hear what's being said, but it's another thing to really be able to deliver
Mhm.
the attitude or the seriousness, you know, like just the overall vibe. I feel like that's my personal style. I mean, the video is me,
Yeah.
so I feel like that's how it
Do you
shows.
have any style inspirations that you like look to?
As far as fashion, oh, that's tough. I'm not a huge fashion girly, so not really. But I will say that I'm kind of in this in between of the neo soul and then the alt girl, I would say. So you could kind of think like Badu. Like I love all the like big bangles, all the
Mhm.
classic neo soul aesthetics. But then I also love I love black. Black is low key my favorite color to wear, and so I love just how black feels. I love kind of crossing into like that emo grunge, a thick platform, black. I just love that. So maybe people like Rico Nasty, I guess, in a way.
Mhm. And I know you went to Columbia, but I was gonna ask, like, how does Chicago kind of inspire you, your music, collaborations, all that?
Yeah, well, I'm from the south suburbs, but my whole experience as an artist has been here in Chicago,
Mhm.
and it influences everything. I mean, that's my community. I think it influences sound and flow in a way, because there's a certain pocket that Chicago artists have, like with beats and stuff like that. So I think it influences the type of sound that I go
Mhm.
for. Sometimes when I'm creating something, I'm like, could I listen to this on Lakeshore Drive? You know, like that's a huge thing. Does it pass the car test on Lakeshore Drive? So yeah, all types of stuff like that goes into the creative process.
That's awesome. I feel like all of your music I would so listen to.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
that.
Thank
It's
you.
so catchy. Um, and I also want to ask, what does ambition mean to you?
What does ambition mean to me? I think that, so I'm a life path 8, if anyone subscribes to that type of stuff. So yeah, I feel like it's just something that is naturally in me. I feel like it is the way that I'm able to execute and showcase my ideas. And yeah, I mean, it's just everything. Without ambition, the dream might as well be dead. That's like faith without work, you
Hmm.
know? So yeah.
Right. And is there anything else that fans can look out for from the future for you?
What can fans look out for? Hopefully a tour. Locked in, focusing on that. Until the tour, they can look forward to the live performance that will be on YouTube of the album. So kind of like a visual experience to go with this. Hey cousin, what else can merch. Merch. Duh. I have not officially dropped these, but I'm wearing an every so often tee. For everyone here, there will also be vinyls and CDs. At my 25th birthday party, I had this really cool hair with like CDs hanging from it and stuff like that. And so it's only right to, throw it back, have the CDs, have the vinyls, all the things. So yeah, I think that is what they can look forward to. And they can also look forward to more collaborations. I know that you all just spoke with Ifani Ellsworth. We will be working on a video to our song Outside featuring Day in Brooklyn like next month. So, a lot of fun stuff.
That's so exciting. I love that
Mhm.
song. I'm so
Thank
excited.
you. Yeah,
All
that's my
right.
jam. I'm so glad it's out.
All right. That's all the questions I have. I'll let you get to your phone call with your producer. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I don't believe so. Just to thank you for having me. Thank you
Thank you
for
so
thinking
much
of
for
me.
coming on.
Of course. I love that we're both Geminis
Mhm.
too. And yeah, just thanks.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Have
Have
a
a
good
good
one.
night.